Over the years, I've made quite a number of these talk videos, and the objective has been eventually somehow to find an audience for them. Although I never have, I still keep thinking I might try, whether it's developing hashtags or the drudge work of circulating them through email one at a time to people. My goal is to protect our society. I've been an inquisitive individual, but you may notice a tone of mockery towards the fourth estate, um, communications systems, Homeland Security, the FBI, police. I would like to explain that when you detect this scorn for them from me, it it's true. You're detecting genuine uh, disdain because I have warned them in advance, time and time again, of terrible crimes that were going to be committed. And whenever I do that, and then the crimes come true, they start wailing and squealing and crying like I guess what you would imagine a severely autistic person having a temper tantrum would be like, saying absolutely disturbed, empty, moronic things about John Lennon that you can barely decipher. And then they go back to their routines, and you see their advertisements if you notice something suspicious and so on. Ideally, my videos would contribute to civil safety and public apprehension of the deranged. But the two things don't connect when it comes to the way our society is organized. Something else is at work. Now, sometimes it helps to have a little corroboration. I've explained that I was kept out of Seattle Community College for warning that there was a gang in Seattle and Capitol Hill who were going to sacrificially murder somebody. And when it came true, I got very angry and was arrested. And they still didn't let me go to school. In fact, the psychiatrist on duty gave me exorbitant amounts of a psychiatry drug and wrote on the bottle, I couldn't care less if you took all of them at once. This is why Seattle is the way it is, obviously. I mean, she was now the girl, you can't tell Shannon Harp's parents that I'm on their side because the assassins did their homework. Some of them were from the Stranger. One of them works at Adobe. They're in the Green Party. And they said, no, he's a shiftless, deeply flawed man. One of them coughed up from Oliver Stone's take on Jim Garrison. Um, I got a lot of mileage out of that. It still amuses me. Why does it amuse me so much? Because these psychopaths used a nerve agent on me when I was a very, very little boy and battered me. I have glaucoma in one of my eyes and I'm almost completely deaf. And then they called me a deeply flawed man, not a deeply injured man. You see, this is woods. Now I'm talking about when it comes to police, detective society, and so on. In fact, the postal union was involved in the Ripper murder of Shannon Harps. Well, how do I know that? They sent me a tube big enough for my bagel knife the night before. And they had poisoned me in the heart, and it had a little scroll. The tube had a little scroll about worse heart conditions. Something worse could befall. And they also followed after Cersei was murdered by them, Cersei Kennedy. They followed my letter from Tacoma to Kennebunkport and delivered it by murdering two yet more Kennedys. An anonymous caller told them where they could find the Kennedy witches in the water, so to speak. And it was all from the postal union around here. And so, but anyway, so I can't get corroboration. Sam Harp's parents, they're sharp. It was a disgusting, horrible Ripper crime. And of course, the worst thing imaginable had happened to a young girl. She was just murdered in her prime by a Ripper murder. And it blended in with the Seattle bondage circuit, like, oh, these things are the nature of reality, and the tranny intersection was connected some dots and so forth, which is what UW tries to do, is connect some dots. You won't get Homeland Security to connect many dots. They disconnect the dots when you start talking about anal kisser and the poison in the mouth that was administered to me. Homeland Security unplugs those dots. No dots. No connect dots. No. So you can't, but you can get corroboration about one of the meanest spirited, Putin-esque, putrid assassin Ripper Hatters from the snuff film syndicate, virtually their honorary racketeer on guard from the Bohemian Grove, named Robert Fripp of King Crimson, which is like a Manson family. I mean, they're really evil, sickening people. And I've seen them up close. I was like one of the people who was trapped in a sort of Jonestown situation, still in, with regard to Patricia Fripp's mercenary syndicates. I mean, her mercenary syndicates are, one of them was John Stockwell from the CIA, who followed me to Allentown on my birthday when I was being put over by someone who Fripp had introduced me to. And Stockwell was talking about how, when it comes to the Russian KGB, the CIA do sit down with them and talk, tinkle glasses and, one son of a bitch to another with them, and make up ideas, experimental ideas, how they can deceive by looking like adversaries and get people caught in the middle to, smush them. This is the sort of mindset that Frippy has with the KGB. And of course, Flip is like chummy bummy, posted connectivity to Trump. He tuned well, I don't want to say himself because he's little Donald Trump. You know what I'm saying? Well, the Aum Shinrikyo cult. I'm talking about corroboration here. I'm not losing the thread. Aum Shinrikyo cult was investigated and interviewed by Haruki Murakami. And they said in their interview in book Underground, which was widely published by this Harvard professor, that they admire, beyond all men, Robert Fripp of King Crimson, which is perfectly understandable. I mean, because they release sarin nerve agents on Tokyo subways, and he's sort of the Jim Jones of the AIDS massacre. So there's some corroboration, And Flippy Toon covers up for the people who started AIDS and apparently was in on it himself. And this is where the disconnect comes in again. The Homeland Security Administration at the University of Washington, Sociology, University of Pittsburgh. Unplug that. No connected dots. No. Well, if you investigate this, maybe you'll be able to stop them before they kill our grannies with COVID-19. No, that's enough of that. Stop. Don't connect the dots. Mitch McConnell will call Aung San Suu Kyi. Who was she? Well, she was the daughter of General Aung San, who was with the Japanese in the co-prosperity zone when the Japanese were allies of France, Vichy France, and Hitler in places like Vietnam. No. No, no, don't say that. She's Nobel Prize winner. She's not. No, no, don't connect the dots. So this is a sort of like, you have, see, Flippy Turn has a style that's identifiable. It's example of the fact that Shannon Harp's parents never tried to work anything out with me. One of the parents of the victims, Courtney Kennedy, and her former husband Paul wrote to me when Circe was murdered. They wrote me a heartbreaking, wailing, handwritten note about it. And when I wrote them back, as I said, the people who sent me the tube for my bagel knife before they rippered Shannon followed the letter reply to, and murdered two more candies with its delivery. I explained that earlier in the video. But don't tell Homeland Security. No, I've tried to. They started unplugging everything. No, but see, Flippy Tune has a style that makes it possible for him to, be a guru of the people who released sarin on the Tokyo subway and cover for the AIDS attack to help set up COVID-19, poison somebody in the mouth while surrounding with someone named Anal Kisser, which is Kiss My Ass, and they're great. Well, from time immemorial, he's talked about his spending his fans, how his fans want to come to him to be spent by him. And he calls them puppets. And he works the idea that he uses them as a barometer. He's saying that's what it is. It's Shannon Harp's parents' acceptability quotient among the intersectionalities of the tranny festival in Capitol Hill. That's his barometric system. So he measures the barometers of people's credulity, and he gets Homeland Security to unplug it. Snap of his fingers. He says David Bowie and they unplug. It's like Monty Python, you know. If you do not unplug that, connect the dot, we will say knee to you, knee. And Homeland Security starts unplugging things. And the FBI start, well, like autistic children about John Lennon, John Lennon. So, it helps to have a little corroboration.